Alright guys, this is it. Today is the day I'm finally driving the brand new Corvette E-Ray. This has been a long time in the making and I can't believe it's finally happening. This is the world's first all-wheel drive Corvette. It's the world's first Corvette with an electric motor up front. So yes, it is a hybrid, and as you know, I took delivery of the first delivered C8 Corvette Z06 at the National Corvette Museum a little over a year ago, and that car was fantastic. I tracked it everywhere. I've been very intrigued to find out what this all-wheel drive 655 horsepower Corvette will be like in comparison. Obviously, it's a totally different car. This is going to be a Corvette you can drive during all seasons, and it should be the ultimate luxury cruiser. So today we're going to do a walk around to see what you get for the money, and then I'll get behind the wheel to see what it's like to drive. Right away, I have to comment on how amazing this car looks, especially being the drop top, hard top convertible. It looks perfect for Southern California. Actually, the owner of this car lives in NorCal, and he road tripped it all the way down here to experience San Clemente area. So as I was mentioning, this vehicle has 655 horsepower, and the reason it's coming up with that horsepower is that the electric motor up front makes 160 of that horsepower, and then you have the original Stingray motor out back. Now, if you haven't seen my interview with the lead Corvette engineers, make sure to check it out. I went very in-depth with them when they unveiled this vehicle about a year ago, and we learned so much, especially how this version actually has more of a unique weight distribution compared to any other C8 Corvette before, because the entire center beam is full of batteries to give power to the electric motor up front. That e-motor is also giving you 125 more pound-feet of torque. So out the door, you have about 592 pound-feet of torque. The body design is something that looks very similar to my Z06. As you know, with the Corvette Z06, Chevrolet introduced a mega wide body kit all over the vehicle. And speaking about this intake, if you haven't seen the teaser photos out online, well, there's a lot of cool photos up close with the new supposed ZR1 on the streets being tested out by the engineers. And right here, there's like a secondary intake. So this gives us a perfect glimpse of not only what a hybrid future from Corvette will be like, but if they go down the route of creating the Corvette ZORA, which would have hybrid nature and mega horsepower out of the V8 out back, this could be our first look at what the technology can come together to drive like. Because up front, that e-motor is completely separate. The propulsion system is not the same as, let's say, a McLaren Artura or other hybrid vehicle. Those are still rear-wheel drive, and the axial flux e-motor designs are housed way out here where the rear transaxles are. Now, this is different again, so I'm very curious to find out how it comes together. I was wondering why they went down the route of putting the wide body kit from the Z06 on the E-Ray, because I didn't think the standard Stingray needed the extra cooling. But let's just forget about that hardcore nerdy stuff. It looks better, it looks more cool, and I believe this is one of the best looking Corvettes ever, because having that massive intake, it looks straight off the C8R race car or the GT3 Z06 out right now. You know what? Let me walk to the other side so I'm not blocking the whole profile. How is that? Does that look pretty good now? As I was talking about here, this wide body kit is incredible. And I think that is why this vehicle does cost inherently a lot more than a Stingray. An equally equipped Stingray, I think, would be about $30,000 cheaper than this. And what you're getting out of this is the highest tech possible from Chevrolet, the nicest interior yet, with a carbon fiber steering wheel if you go after the 3LZ build. There's a $130,000, about $2,000 MSRP build the owner has. This wide body will not only look better, this is going to help with the handling of the vehicle quite drastically. This will be a heavier Corvette, and having a wider contact patch will help to alleviate a lot of the performance hindrances you get with a heavier vehicle. By having more contact patch of rubber on the ground, you can take corners faster, and they can upgrade the suspension with wider track, you name it, to give you better cornering speeds. Don't expect Z06 track performance out of this, because it does weigh about 300 pounds more. So here's the question at hand. Who do I think this car is for? I think this vehicle is for someone who wants to drive their vehicle every single day, but also have not the standard Corvette, but a proper luxury supercar. And when you have 655 horsepower, 592 pound-feet of torque, amenities such as a front lift system that goes up and down through programmable settings, and a body kit that looks this aggressive. You're not only turning heads everywhere you go, but it's an experience where you get into it, it just invites you to drive it. It's not too expensive, whereas you don't want to drive your Huracan every single day. This can launch as hard, if not harder, because the Huracan all-wheel drive, let's be honest here, it launches very fast. This goes 0 to 60 in just 2.5 seconds, and the quarter mile is in 10.5, technically faster than my C8 Corvette Z06 ever was. All right, here we go, close the door to the Corvette E-Ray. Wow. When you get the carbon fiber finish on the steering wheel with the painted stripe, it just feels so exotic. It looks so good, doesn't it? I'm such a fan of the carbon fiber paddle shifters in this car. It looks so cool. Okay guys, here we go, about to do my first drive in the Corvette E-Ray. Here are your new gauges for the hybrid system. You have your electric output on the left and then your engine output on the right. This is going to be for your V8, your gas motor. For the dyno page is showing you an active readout for the total amount of horsepower. Finally, data tells you what the current trip mileage is, the charge used, the fuel saved, and then the charge gained for regeneration. I actually prefer this display system versus the one in the standard Z06 for 2023 I had, and for all the Stingrays of those same model years. You have Google Maps, let's dismiss that. You also have a cell phone pairing right here, and then the E page. When I turn the drive mode selector into track mode, you can tell it opens up the exhaust valves, right? But also we have a brand new display to the left telling us the battery temperature. So when you're running a battery system with an e-motor, you need to always keep in mind the temperature you are running at. Right now it is not very hot outside, it's 63 degrees out. So right here we can actually change out the info tiles. Right now we can turn off the hybrid battery temperature, and then by turning off hybrid battery temperature, in that same spot we can choose a different display mode. So we have follow distance. This shows us how close we're following behind the car in front. We have the electronic limited slip differential coupling. Also, we have the electric power. So on the main display in front of you, you can actually see your electric power you're getting. That's very cool. Let's turn that one on. This is throwing me back so much to my Z06. Oh, I miss that car so much. It was such an awesome vehicle. It really was. I used it for about, I think, 7,000 miles, went to tons of different racetracks with it. It handled very well. The wide body kit that you get out of the Z06 and E-Ray, it's next level. Not only does it look like the GT3 race car, but it just transmits so much more feedback from the road. It has such a higher level of mechanical grip. The threshold of having wider tires out back and up front lets you brake later, trail brake into a corner harder. There's so many attributes that get improved with this wide body kit. So if you're looking at this vehicle and thinking to yourself, well, hey, it's just got the same motor as the Stingray, it doesn't matter, because the wide body kit, it might as well transform the car. Wow, this is different. Getting a feel for the Corvette E-Ray out here. We're in beautiful Southern California. Look how nice it looks outside right now. Having the top down just makes the entire experience so thrilling at all times, and I love having the carbon fiber just glisten in front of me. The normal driving experience, I'll be honest, it's not too aggressive. It feels very much like the Stingray. However, I notice that when I start to get on the vehicle where I want it to accelerate, that's when I notice all the performance it has deep down. For example, when I start to accelerate right now, it instantly gave me horsepower in the front end. Did you see that? Then I let off rapidly, and it gives me the regeneration. So it's so complex in here. There's so much going on at all times. It really is an experience that is catering to exactly what my right foot is doing. Look at that display, by the way, completely changing for going into sport mode. If I go into track mode, what does it do? It changes again. Look, it shows a racetrack logo. There we go. Woo! It actually reminds me very much of the Z06 power band, because if I decelerate a bit, wow, it's fun! This is a very good cruising Corvette. I could really see how this vehicle could have the most versatile and broad audience for a Corvette ever. Minus the price tag, of course. Because it almost reminds me of the Turbo S from Porsche. It's a everyday GT car, you could say. It's got all the amenities, all the luxuries that you could want. It looks incredible. It's not the starting baseline Corvette. This is definitely up there. This is upper tier. And you have a driving system where you could use it everywhere and it'll launch extremely hard and accelerate. That is what made the Turbo S such a good car. Am I saying this as fast as the Porsche Turbo S? I'm not saying that it's going to compete, with the lap times and such. But what I am saying is that the entire platform itself gives me the same vibe as that Porsche. Right now, where when I hit the brakes, it's telling me the regen status of the motor on the left-hand side. So it says negative horsepower when I hit the brakes. So it's using the vector you get out of the vehicle to actually improve the driving experience. Wow, that was insane, guys. A 2.4 second 0 to 60. What? What? Did we just randomly just launched it? And it did a 2.4 second 0 to 60. How did it just do that? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Jesus. 2.2 seconds 0 to 60? A 2.2 second 0 to 60 is insane, guys. We just did that. A 2.2 second 0 to 60. You can feel exactly how wide those front tires are. So when I rotate into a corner, it just grabs and wants to rotate so hard. There's one last thing I'd like to check, guys. Is it any faster with the top up for aerodynamic purposes? I really don't know. I'm curious. I want to find out. So in this video, we're going to throw in that final test for you. Is it faster with the top up instead of the top down? 2.2 seconds is insanely fast for a convertible. This is not even the coupe. This is not even the lightest one they make. Okay, this is a 4,000 plus pound Corvette because the coupe is about 3,900 and I think 48 pounds from what I saw with either Road and Track or Car and Driver when they weighed it. I'm blown away. I'm blown away by this car. Do I think it's a track-focused vehicle like the Corvette Z06? No, it's not. You can't come into it thinking that it is. This is a GT car. This is a Corvette designed to show you what the future can be like, but it's very well put together with the implementation. It feels like they've been doing this for a while now, having hybrids, yet this is the first time for a Corvette. I can't wait to see what these guys do next, and that's genuine. That's honestly genuine right now. About 2.8 seconds that time, guys. I think the top down gave me the best 0 to 60. Having that roof going behind us, maybe it might help with weight distribution. I don't know, probably not. It really did come together very well, and yeah, our best 0 to 60, 2.2 seconds. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below of the Corvette E-Ray. A glimpse at the future, at what the Corvette ZORA could be around the corner. And you know what? I approve. Thanks for watching again. Hit the like button, help me out, and subscribe for much for great content coming out your way. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos coming out. I'll see you in the next one.